Welcome explorers and adventurers to the journey that take you to two remarkable nations steeped in history, culture and natural beauty. Scotland versus England, a tale of two nations. In this journey, we will traverse rugged landscape into the century-old histories, timeless rivalries, mouth-watering cuisine and uncover the unique traditions that define these two lands. Scotland and England each have their own stories to tell, but they are bounded together by geography and intertwined by history. Yet they stand apart in countless ways. Fasten your seatbelt as we embark on a whirlwind tour of Scotland and England, celebrating their uniqueness and perhaps uncovering few surprises along the way. Let's dive in. Our first stop is Mesmerizing Landscapes. Scotland is famous for its rugged terrain, majestic highlands, deep glens and shimmering lakes like the legendary Loch Ness, and not to mention the dramatic fjords along the wild western coast. Now, let's hop across the border into England, where you will find picturesque countryside, rolling hills, charming little villages, and serene lake district. It is all about lush greenery and tranquil lakes. When it comes to coastline, England offers the mix, from Cornwall's rugged cliff to the sandy beaches of Brighton. There is something for every beach lover. While Scotland embraces its mountainous character and coastal islands. Both of these places share a border marked by a beautiful countryside with rolling hills. They both experience a maritime climate, though Scotland tends to be colder and wetter, especially up north. Our second stop is history and heritage. Once upon a time, in a land not so far away, two nations with histories as rich as this double chocolate fudge cake. Scotland and England. The Scottish history dates back thousands of years, with early Celtic tribes inhabiting the region. The Kingdom of Scotland was formed in the 9th century. England's history includes Roman occupation, Anglo-Saxon settlement. The Kingdom of England was established in the 10th century. Scotland has a long history of fighting for independence from England. The War of Independence, notably led by figures like William Wallace and Robert the Bruce, culminated in a declaration of Arbroath in 1320. Scotland's and England's crown joined in 1603 when James VI of Scotland became James I of England, uniting the thrones. This event marked the start of closer tie between the two nations. Scotland has a religious heritage, with Scottish Reformation in the 16th century leading to an establishment of Presbyterian Church of Scotland, which remain influential even today. England's religious history is marked by the English Reformation in the 16th century, when King Henry VIII established Church of England, separating from the authority of the Pope and became head of the church. Now the cultures and traditions. They both put on a cultural showdown like no other. Let's kick things off with Scotland, where traditions run as deep as Loch Ness. Here you will find the legendary Highlands game, where burly Scots throw cobbles like toothpick and compete in hammer throws. If that doesn't impress you, nothing will. Speaking of impressing, Highland dance with the intricate footwork and kilted dances. It is like rhythmic workout for your eye. It is like Olympics with a tartan. over to England, where traditions come with a touch of elegance. Afternoon tea, anyone? England practically invented it. It's all about sipping tea, nibbling on delicate sandwiches and savory scones with a cottage cream and jam. But don't be fooled by this coziness. English love their sports too. Ever heard of cricket? It is like a sophisticated version of baseball. They play it in white uniform. With complex rules, they love explaining to anyone that's new to the sports. Music. Yep, they got it covered there too. Scotland bringing in the haunting beautiful sound of bagpipe, stirring the soul with every single note. And England? Well, they have got legendary rock bands like Beatles, Rolling Stones and the Queens. Get ready to salivate. These two nations know how to satisfy your taste bud. First, let's dive into Scottish cuisine. It is a land where the flavors are as bold as their bagpipe tunes. Haggis, a traditional savory dish made from sheep's stomach, heart, liver, mixed with spices and oatmeal. It might sound like unusual. Apparently, it tastes great. And how could you forget the beloved Scotch pie? It is like a portable taste of heaven with a golden flaky crust with savory meat filling, perfect for enjoying it on the go. Let's go over to England, where culinary delights come in the forms of classic dishes like fish and chips, crispy golden fish paired with thick cut fries. It is a combo that's been making taste but dance for centuries. And of course, there's a quintessential Sunday roast dinner featuring succulent roast meat, Yorkshire pudding, and array of vegetables. It is like a hug for your taste buds. What about drinks? Scotland and England got you covered there too. Scotland has a water of life. Whiskey. Scotch whiskey is renowned worldwide for its complex flavor, and there is nothing quite like whiskey tasting tour in the heart of the whiskey country. And the English has mastered the art of tea. Afternoon tea is practically a national institution, complete with delicate sandwiches, scones and cottage cream and jam. And of course, piping hot Earl Grey or English breakfast tea. One thing these both nations share is the love of baking. From Scotland's buttery shortbread cookies to England's sweet Victorian sponge cake, they know how to whip up a delightful treat. The next stop is the landmarks. Scotland's Edinburgh Castle and England's Big Ben stand in a monumental proportion. First, tackle the formidable Edinburgh Castle. Perched on an extinct volcano, it is like the original set of Game of Thrones. Complete with ancient stone wall and a long history, navigating this castle is like trying to find your way out of hedge maze after too many glasses of whiskey. Now, hop over to London and meet the one and only Big Ben. He is not the bouncer at the pub. The colossal clock tower with impeccable timing. Except when it comes to ringing his own bell. Remember folks, Big Ben is the nickname for the Great Bell. He is an excellent backdrop for your I was in London selfie. Another legendary set of landmarks are Scotland's Eilean Donan Castle and England's Stonehenge. The Eilean Donan Castle is a crown jewel of Scottish castle, nested on an island. It is like a King Arthur set meet real life fairy tale. Visiting the castle is like stepping back in time, except they accept credit cards. England's Stonehenge is a mysterious circle of standing stone that has puzzled folks for centuries. They say it's a giant sundial, and the others think it's a portal to another dimension. Whatever it is, it sure is a great spot for sunrise selfies. Stonehenge is where you will find the tourists doing yoga poses and ancient rocks in the background. Who knew that bunch of massive stone could be so zen? When it comes to age, Eileen Donan Castle is like your grandparents' antique collection. It's been around since the 13th century. In comparison, Stonehenge is a granddaddy of them all. Dating back over 5,000 years, it practically witnessed the invention of wheel. Ladies and gentlemen, our last and final stop is government and politics. Get ready for a crash course in bureaucracy. Scottish Parliament in Edinburgh is where kilt are practically dress code, and the debates often turn into passionate Celtic dance. Who knew lawmaking could be so rhythmic? Scotland has its own devolved government with powers over education, health, and other local regulations. Westminster, the heart of the UK Parliament in London, it is like a political circus with more drama than Shakespearean play. The debates are so intense that they even have the Speaker of the House to keep in order. In England, it's all about tradition. They have King's Speech, where His Majesty the King outlined the government's agenda for the term. It is like getting a homework assignment from a king. UK government is in England, but England itself doesn't have a separate government. Now the politics. Scotland has its own political parties with the SNP and Scottish Conservative, parliaments where everyone trying to outdo each other's move. In England, it's even more complex. They have lots of political parties from Tories to Labour. They even form a coalition government where two or more parties join to make a government. It is like a political potluck dinner. Oh, when it's election time, Scotland has its own unique twist. They elect members of the Scottish Parliament using a voting system called mixed member proportional representation. It is like a political puzzle. You have to figure out which piece fit where. Meanwhile, in England, they have the first past the post system, where it's all about crossing the finishing line first. It's like political horse race, but with candidate instead of horse jockeys. Beneath the coax and comedy, both governments are hard at work, making decisions that shape their nations. Scotland and England may have their differences, but they are like odd couple. They keep each other's check. Here is to Scotland and England, two nations diverse and entertaining as their cultures. They might argue, compete and rival, but deep down they are like cousins. It's been fun. They are great countries. If you are from Scotland or England, let me know in the comment. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching. If you watch this, put me a comment saying red and blue. Okay? I'll know that you watched to the end. Thank you so much. I hope you learned something new. These are two great places. Come along the journey with me. It's going to be fun.